Hey guys, so let's carry on. This is V2 Saturday, 20th of August, and the weather is very nice. Yeah, right. Okay, let's go ahead. So we start our lab today, and we talked about the lab before as well. I'm going to give an explanation again for this, and there was some reasoning there for um, our lab to be starting from M365 interface instead of Azure IaaS Infrastructure as a Service interface. Okay, so we're going to start our lab. We start our lab. You don't have to follow the lab with me. If you want to, then yes, please go ahead. Um, as long as, as long as uh, the class does not stop for longer instructions and T-shoot, as we need to cover a lot of ground. But obviously, I want you to be very you need to understand first of all what's going on, why we're doing that, and then how to do it. So how part is kind of tricky. Like if I'm doing and you're doing with me and you're understanding as well, that's good. If I'm doing and you're doing with me, but you're not understanding, you're concentrating on how to do it, but then why are we doing that? If you're missing that, then you don't have to do the lab with me. Now, there are 4 students connected, and I'm saying that I was supposed to say that to all the students of last class as well. But when they come, I'll keep repeating it. Anyway, the thing is that, yes, if you're stuck somewhere, like you're following me and then you're like stuck, so you could share the screenshot in WhatsApp, right? And I can then, seeing the screenshot, I can just help you right away. Otherwise, if you're stuck and it's taking more longer time, then we can also check it out after the class, right? And during the week when you're when the video is released and you're seeing that, you can just follow that. And if you're stuck at that time, you can also put the screenshot on the WhatsApp group, and I'll try to help. We will all group together and help. We'll keep an eye on the group if if anyone needs help, right? Okay, so if you have, if you are following, um, there's, I'm sure there's no such word as fastly. So, so funny. Okay, if you're, fastly, I'll just make a, so you don't think that, I think that is the actual word. So, right, if you are following fastly, why am I even using that word? So then, and you're stuck in the lab, then I can help if it does not take much time. You can either share your screen with us quickly in WebEx. You can do that, right? In WebEx, or you may put a screenshot of your error on WhatsApp group. I keep an eye on the chat all the time, class group, right? And I can help you out that way as well. If you have any questions, you can always put in the chat, and also you can put it in WhatsApp group chat or in the WebEx chat. Anywhere you can just put that comment. I always keep an eye on the comments, and you have any questions, just go ahead and ask, or you could just come on the mic and ask as well, up to you, right? So yeah, okay. So I was checking my background, it's okay or not. All right. So let us go ahead. We have just a few million steps to cover. There's a long list of labs, and as you know, my class is always totally hands-on. So what I requested last week was that okay. So those who were not in the last week class, so hopefully you've watched the video of the last week, and I'm going to explain the whole lab here as well. If you want to see the exam curriculum or what exam objectives are you following, so these are the links. I'll make this slide available for you, although it's available in the LMS Learning Management System. If you're not part of the Learning Management System, let me know and I'll just enroll you there. So all the material for the course will be there as well. Break. Oh, there's no break here. All right. Not right now. Okay, so what we have to do to prepare our lab. So first thing is we will need to open a free trial account with Azure. Now this is, we are not doing this now because this requires credit card, right? And our majority of the labs will be on top of this platform. So when we are going to do that, I'm going to let you know that, okay, let's now start creating an account. Your credit card will be needed just for your identity. They will not charge you unless you forget to stop the machine and it's ready for, and it's powered on for a few days. Obviously they're going to charge you, but if you strictly follow what I do, you will not get charged. Or if few cents are charged, that's no big deal. But we're not actually doing that now. We're not creating an account with IaaS, infrastructure as a service, right? So Azure lets us use its trial account for 1 month, and then we have to convert our account to pay as you go. So this is, we're referring to, I'm just going to say IaaS. And we talked about last week, what is IaaS? IaaS is infrastructure as a service, where we use their data center. We use their CPU and memory, right? So that's IaaS, or infrastructure as a service. So we're not going to create an account for IaaS. Instead, as last week we talked about, we're going to create an account, new user account, which is free for anyone to create as many times without credit card. So we're going to create SaaS account, which is software as a service. So this is just to save you from difficulties later. So and you're gonna know then what I mean. So if I go to this, I always use pay-as-you-go. Yeah, when we go to that IaaS account, then I'm gonna explain everything, because we need to create virtual machines there, and we need to do a lot of labs there as well. So you must strictly follow my instructions. Yeah, when we do create the IaaS account, this applies to that, and at that time I'm gonna let you know as well. In order to start the course without adding our credit card, to learn our first major topic. So our first major topic is the security guard, right? Azure Active Directory. It's not just security guard, it's much more than that. So we're going to learn our first topic, which is Azure Active Directory. And in order to learn that, we can use the SaaS-based Active Directory as well. So Microsoft 365 services, they also use Azure Active Directory, and Azure Infrastructure Services, they also use Azure Active Directory. So, but Azure Infrastructure, you have to put your credit card there as to prove your identity. You're not a hacker, you're not a robot. So we're not going that way. So we're going to go for the Microsoft 365 services, where we can freely create an account as many times we want. We don't have to put a credit card, and we will. Azure Active Directory is exactly the same here as it is there in Azure IaaS. Our main course, our course actually revolves around the features of infrastructure as a service, right? But as I mentioned in the last class as well, that we're not going to use, just for the Azure Active Directory topic, we're going to use Microsoft 365 Azure Active Directory services. And later, we're going to, when we go for virtual machines related lab, we're going to shift to infrastructure as a service, Azure. Then I'm going to show you that Azure Active Directory there as well. And you will see that there's no difference at all, right? Now, our lab here is pretty detailed, pretty in-depth, and For Azure Active Directory, our lab is pretty detailed, pretty in-depth, and lots of steps are there. So we're going to start now. So first thing is we're creating a free Enterprise 5 user account in Microsoft 365 in order to do our first lab, that is Azure Active Directory. And that has a long list of topics there. And many of them I'm going to be doing a lab on, and some of them I'll be explaining them as a theory, but majority would be lab. And I prefer labs for pretty much every topic, whichever is doable, right? So once this is explained that we are going for Microsoft 365 accounts, so I'm just going to show you how to do that. Those of you who are fast, they can follow me, and you don't really have to follow me for every step if you're at the cost of understanding. So you have to understand and do the lab. So concentrate on understanding and not do the lab. That's also good. But if you are fast and you can do some quick troubleshooting, then you can do the lab with me right now, right? Otherwise, the video, when it's released, then you have all the time to do the lab easily at your own pace while understanding each and everything, right? Okay, so let's get going, and we will create a M365 E5 Enterprise 5. So what is Enterprise 5? Enterprise 5 offers all the services of Microsoft, and it's a trial, 30-day trial account, and we can create as many 30-day trial accounts, right? So we're going to create an account here just for the Azure Active Directory topic. After that, we're going to switch to Azure Infrastructure as a Service. Okay, so, well, you're going to be following me, so you know, you will know what to do here. Once the topic of Azure Active Directory is finished, then we will switch to Azure IaaS by creating a new trial user account with our credit card. Okay, so that hopefully understood. If there's any question, you can come on mic and ask question. You can put in the chat in WebEx. You can put in the chat in WhatsApp as well. So I'm watching those chats as well. Okay, so let's start our first topic, that is Azure Active Directory, and there's a lot to cover. So it's all interesting. It's all right now being implemented in the market around the planet. In every country, wherever there's Microsoft infrastructure, pretty much all companies are going for cloud. So they have to implement that. In my current company, I'm also using that. But what I'm not using, I'm going to tell you. Okay, so we will need on-premises lab as well. So we will start from Azure Active Directory topic. Okay, done. That's the first thing we're about to start now. Before next class, install VMware Workstation free. Okay, so how many have installed VMware Workstation on your laptop? Me. Okay, yeah, I've done that. So hopefully you have also done it. Okay, so that hand raise is not a question, it's a thing. It's like me, or if it's a question, then please come to mic and you can ask question. Otherwise, if you're raising hand that yes, you have VMware Workstation installed, cool. Or you can type in the chat done. That would be also good, right? So I'm going to type in my chat done because I have installed that. Okay, done. Nick, does it require a certain version, or we would install? Yeah, any version is good, Fahad. 16 Pro is better. If you have 15, VMware Workstation Pro 15, that is also good. VMware Workstation Pro 14, that is also good, right? So yeah. Okay, done. Xavier, done. Naveed, done. Oladapo, done. Octavian. All right, so we have a lot of done. So that's very good. And there's some more dones are needed, but please do it done. What am I talking? So yeah, before next class, yeah, this was first thing, and everyone installed. I'm sure if you have done the above one, you must have downloaded only, because we're about to install that together. Windows Server 2019 ISO, right? And you install yourself. I've installed. Yeah. So this is the link, and hopefully everyone has just downloaded it. But we're gonna install it together. Okay. So go to viewer.com. Yeah, done. Okay, let's go ahead. So what is our grand plan, right? So grand plan. What are we intending to do? So we are pretending that well, we're pretending that you are the cloud admin of a company now, right? And the company has an office in downtown Toronto, right? And you're getting 55 per hour salary. Wow, that's cool, right? Okay, so the company has an office in downtown Toronto. You need to install local, okay, on premises. The terminology is on premises, active, on premises domain controller. Domain controller means a Windows server with Active Directory installed inside. Okay, Fast says in the chat, can you share the link? I had a player version, so I uninstalled it. Oh, okay. For VMware Workstation, right? So VMware Workstation, well, you can go to why? Oh, you mean yes? Okay, I thought why. So VMware Workstation player you had. So I have that VMware Workstation version here as well. I'll go here to Drive and share in the on the other screen. I'm looking at the software folder. Okay. So you want the link for VMware Workstation Pro 16, right? So that is what is software. I go there and I have it on my SQL on my OneDrive, Google Drive. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. So I'm gonna right click, get link, and share it with you. You could, those who don't have it, you can just download now. All right. So the link is in the WebEx chat as well as in download VMware Workstation Pro 16 in WhatsApp chat as well. Ready? All right. So yeah, so Jazz open VMware Workstation full. Yeah, you have Pro. Just open that. Yeah, the top one in the picture. So on the other screen, I'm seeing a picture of a student's laptop and VMware Workstation Pro. Just click that. It's okay. 12 player, 15. Yeah, the Pro one, just click that and you're good. Okay. And download it. So guys, here we are pretending that you are the cloud admin of a company. The company has an office in downtown Toronto. You need to install on-premises domain controller. So let me talk in English now. Whenever I say talk in English, it means summarize in easier way. So we are pretending that there is Toronto downtown office, and this is a new office, and you need to and we have actually 400 users, right? 400 users here that's going to connect. So now we're going to install our domain controller here. So we're going to install Windows Server 2019 and or 2022 or 2018, whichever. 2018, 2016, or 2019, right? So Windows Server, and then we will create with a PowerShell script, with PowerShell script, 399 users, 390 users. Why 390? Because that script creates 390. So, but there's no other specific reason, technical reason for that, right? And second thing is that we're going to pretend that these users are actually using many applications of the office. We don't need to create extra machines. We're going to be creating just one machine. What we are pretending that these users are actually using file server, FS, web server. So all the files you save there, web server, the local websites that you intranet maybe, and maybe print server, PS, right? So there are those servers. Maybe there's SQL server there as well. We're not going to gonna be creating all that, but theoretically we need to understand that why are we creating an on-premises environment in the first place, and why it is so critical for job market nowadays anywhere on the planet. So it's SQL Server, so all the databases there. Okay, so in the chat, Oladapo says, may I see the grand plan list again, please? Oh yeah, grand plan is still under construction. I just put this. I'll be putting more here. Yeah, so you need to install on-premises domain control. Then I'm explaining in diagram, so I'll put the diagram here as well. But I'll be filling out this from time to time. Okay, so you're good, right? Cool, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so we have a branch here, right? Office branch. There are 390 users that are connecting here, or 400 users that are connecting, or 4,000 users connected, whatever number is, right? Now they are using these local servers and applications installed in those virtual machines or physical machines. Most probably it will be virtual machines. And suppose these are virtual machines, right? So they would be installed on top of a hypervisor. Either it will be a VMware hypervisor or it will be a so VMware hypervisor name is ESXi. What is the one job of hypervisor? It helps you host virtual machines. You want to have a virtual machine in your environment, you have to have a hypervisor, right? So the purpose of hypervisor, the VMware workstation that you're installing, that's a hypervisor because it's going to let you install virtual machines, right? So either you have VMware ESXi hypervisor or Hyper-V from Microsoft, Hyper-V, hypervisor. So hypervisor is the software that gets installed directly on a hardware and it helps you host virtual machines, right? Or create virtual machines. Okay, so now those are all the applications. Now this here server is the main authentication server. So it's a Windows 2019 server and it has Active Directory installed, right? We're going to be installing that. And it has in the Active Directory, what do? You install groups, you create groups, you create users there, you join Windows 10, Windows 7 to domains, right? So we're going to have 390 users created here. And we pretend that those users are connecting. Okay, static. Yeah. So, now these users, let's pretend these users come every day. If suppose this was not created a new environment, suppose you did create that on-premises new environment already. Now they connect every day. They connect from their Windows 10 laptops, Windows 10 desktops. They connect. They come here in the office when they log in. When they log in, so their login credentials, username, password is confirmed by the Active Directory, and then they are allowed to log in to their machines. Once they are logged in, they can actually connect to the web server, they can connect to the files, print server, SQL server with applications and with file servers, right? So that's how offices work, and that's how authentication works in that. But now the company decided that, hey, every other company, our rival companies are going to cloud, and they're using they're using cloud applications. For example, they are using SQL Server in cloud. Oh, and they're using file servers in cloud, and they are creating virtual machines there. They are using many applications. So your boss says, hey, cloud admin or system administrator or IT administrator. Am I recording this? Yeah. So hey, cloud administrator, can we purchase applications in the cloud and let our users not only still be able to connect to these local applications in Toronto branch, but also they should be able to connect to the cloud application. So you say, yes, I have done my Azure course, I have done my AWS course, I know how cloud works. You will say that to the boss, right? And you say that, yes, you want these users to be still able to connect to the local branch applications, on-premises applications, as well as cloud applications? Yes, I can configure it for you. So the boss says, oh, really? Wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm increasing your salary now. So listen, oh, feels good at least, right? Okay, so I'm going to increase your, sorry, what am I doing here? Oh, it was there. Okay. So now you say that, then the boss says, okay, can you explain me how it will be done? So you say, yeah, sure. We're going to have here an Azure cloud, and so Azure infrastructure as a service cloud, where you connect on the internet remotely to somebody else's data center and connect to their machines, and then you start your applications and you work on applications and you rent their machines. So basically you're connecting from your branch to somebody else's data center, Microsoft data center or Amazon's data center, and then you rent the time and rent this their machines to create your own environment, to host your own applications, to configure the way you want to configure for the company benefits, right? So you're just renting their machines over the internet by remotely connecting to them and using them. And then you pay the rent per hour, or you pay the rent by per month, or even per year. Anyway, so you tell your boss that, hey, Azure IaaS Cloud, I'm going to be creating a company account there. And then I will be creating virtual machines here in the cloud. Suppose one file server, one SQL server, or even SaaS-based SQL server. But there will be these applications and also these virtual machines. So VMs. These are VMs, and we're going to be creating VMs, virtual machines as well. You're going to be practicing that, and also there are applications. So in the cloud, we're going to be using applications as well, right? And those applications are, suppose, SharePoint, where we can share files with each other, share projects with each other, and dump application data there as well. And intranet, it could be used as a company intranet for announcements as well. So SharePoint and SQL Server, even there as well, and file. Well, SharePoint is also file services it offers. Also Outlook, so Exchange Server we can use for emails, right? And emails, and it goes, the list goes on, right? There are like 3,000. Microsoft offers 3,000 plus applications. 3,000 plus applications to be added to Azure Cloud inside your account, your cloud account, we can say, and use them and just pay the per hour rent for that, right? And the rent normally is 0.0 cents, 0.034 cents per hour, or it could go down to millicents per second, right? It could be anything like that. Anyway, so these are all, the things that you can do. So you tell the boss, yes, I'm going to actually let our local users, these users, not only use the applications on premises, but they will be connecting to cloud and then using all the applications, and whatever virtual machines we create, we're going to use them as well. Those users will use them as well. So your boss says, again, how? Okay, you will create this environment up there. You already have an environment in your office. How will these users be connecting to the cloud over the internet securely and use our applications? So you say, yes, I'm good, because there is Active Directory there as well. So what does Active Directory do? Active Directory, we all know, Active Directory is responsible for authentication, authorization, auditing, right? Or accounting/accounting. Some say auditing, some say accounting. So Active Directory is like a security guard. You're about to enter the company main gate, and the security guard will stop you. Hey, who are you? You show your card. So if the guard checks your card, or you just eat the card, and your identity is checked, and then you're let in. So that is, you've been authenticated into the company. The authentication has been confirmed. You are who you say you are is confirmed now. Authorization is, oh, you're inside the company. We authenticated you. Yes, you are our user, but you cannot actually go to third floor. You can go to first floor and second floor, but not third floor. So that's authorization. That what in the company you can use and what you cannot use in a company. And then auditing, how long have you been connecting to whichever resources of the company, and how much of you have used that is auditing and accounting. So this is what Active Directory does, right? But there has to be some kind of security in the cloud for the end users to connect through and then connect to applications. So you don't want anyone to be messing with your critical data inside your applications. So there has to be a security guard up there in the cloud as well. So that is that Azure Active Directory security guard. Now, don't say security guard in the interviews or to anyone else. What is Active Directory? Sir, it is a security guard. So no, it's not a security guard. I mean, like it does that, but what you can say, what is Active Directory? The answer should be, it offers authentication. It's an authentication system. So it offers authentication, authorization, and accounting and auditing. And we create, it has a directory. So we create users and groups there, right? So we have this authentication system up there as well called Azure Active Directory. And the first topic is of the course exam objectives is this Azure Active Directory. So what do we do here? We have an Active Directory here that is confirming who we are, and then it lets us use applications. We have an Azure Active Directory there as well. Okay, so the user accounts have to be up there as well in order to use the cloud applications, right? So either I can manually create user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, 10, 20, 30, 390. Okay, so that would be a lot, right? So we don't want to go with a manual way. So Microsoft has given you a way to put the credential, username, passwords of the on-premises users in the cloud as well. So that is going to happen with the help of a tool called Azure AD Connect. This Azure AD Connect. So this tool will help us synchronize 390 user accounts. So make a copy of those user accounts and put the username password securely here as well. So the same users who are connecting here to the local applications, their username password will be given to the Azure Active Directory here as well. So all those 390 user accounts will be here. Now, when the users want to use a SharePoint application up in the cloud, so the same username password they were using to connect to their Windows 10 machines, that same username password they will use here in the cloud over the internet to use any of these applications, right? So you understand the scenario here that the users who are using the branch applications will have to be, their username password has to be copied up there in the Azure Active Directory as well. So they could be first authenticated when they are connecting to cloud applications. They have to be authenticated from Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory will check that, hey, what's your username? Okay, what's your password? Let me confirm. Okay, I have the same. Okay, I think you are who you say you are. So you are our person or you are our guy. And then once you're authenticated, obviously you can connect to any cloud applications in that tenant which you have purchased from Microsoft Azure. So the overall, our lab would be, our objective number one is objective one, create an on-premises environment. Create on-premises environment, right? That's the first thing. Create cloud company environment, and then connect the on-premises environment to cloud. Okay. Synchronize all the 390 users from on-prem. Always stick to the those conventions there. What is the local branch infrastructure called? So it's on premises. It's called on premises. Always use that terminology, right? So synchronize all the 390 users from on-prem or on premises, AD Active Directory to Cloud Azure Active Directory to Azure AD, and confirm if all the users in the Azure Cloud Active Directory, Azure AD, are able to log in successfully. So we need to confirm all that. Now, many companies have this, whichever companies have hybrid environment. What is hybrid? Hybrid is that you have some applications in the branch, local branch on premises, and some applications in the cloud, right? So if you have two of these, two types of infrastructures here, then it's called hybrid, first of all. Second thing is, then you have to use Azure AD Connect, because that's the most commonly used way of, yes. So in the chat, Imran says on-prem plus cloud, exactly. On-prem plus cloud or hybrid. So this hybrid environment, you can actually connect, you have to connect through this tool only, right? Azure AD Connect. So we're going to install that tool. We're going to create our on-premises environment. Then we're going to create our cloud environment. And we're going to create here 390 users. We're going to synchronize them to cloud environment. So this whole objective or lab is about how to use Azure AD Connect, how to connect on-premises to cloud environment, right? And how to confirm if it was successful by logging into the synchronized users in the cloud. So synchronized means what? Synchronized means the users which are here, a copy of that has been sent to Azure Active Directory. So we're not moving the users. Like the users, moving means what? Cut and paste, right? Moving means that you are just moving the users from here to there, and the users will no longer be here anymore. But synchronized means that, or copying means obviously the user is here as well as its copies there. And suppose you change a password here for the user. So every 30-minute Azure AD Connect synchronizes. So whatever changes you've made to the user, those changes will be synchronized after half an hour automatically to Azure Active Directory in the cloud as well, right? So that's our objective one, to make sure that the whole environment is working fine. And then objective two, for which you will have to purchase a website domain, a domain from GoDaddy.com in order to follow the lab. So objective two is add a company domain to Azure tenant. So what is a tenant then? And connect the name of the company to all the users in Azure AD, right? So what does that mean? When a user is synchronized up there, so what happens? What happens is that user gets a free domain name. Okay, what is that? So suppose there's a user John here, right? User John. And user John is, always coming on Windows, connecting with Windows 10, logging in from Windows 10, and then throughout the day uses applications, right? So now user John's username password has been copied up there in Azure Active Directory. Okay. As soon as it is copied there, user John at, so its name becomes, that user's name becomes, is now John at company name dot, a free domain name gets attached automatically. So .onlinemicrosoft.com. So every user, all 390 users will have a free domain name attached to them, which is this, when they are synchronized up there. Now, and the whole planet knows, everyone knows this is a free domain name, right? So user John, who used to talk to their clients before, suppose user John's email comes and the client sees, oh, user John at companyname.com used to be the email address of user John. Now he's sending me a communication while the free domain name is also attached. So the other clients, other companies might think that you're a hacker, or somebody's pretending as John is actually trying to communicate with us. So they might not even do business with you, right? So we have to, whatever the company name is, we need to purchase it in GoDaddy.com. You have to go to GoDaddy.com, and it's just $1 domains are also there, and you get them for 1 year, right? So, but you need to understand that how to attach a domain purchased, domain name or company name, which is supposed to be the domain name. Suppose your company is insurance company. So suppose it's Allstate is your insurance company, right? So it's very famous here, right? So Allstate Insurance Company. Now, when John at allstate.com, when John was on premises, he used to send emails and it was John at allstate.com. When his user account was synchronized here, it added to John at allstate.com, dot on Microsoft.com. So nobody will trust that account. So you have to purchase a domain. Suppose you've already purchased allstate.com in GoDaddy.com domain or any domain registrar. You've purchased a domain, right? So that domain has to be added to your Azure tenant. So when we say tenant is just that area where you will work, that is assigned to you, and you have added a credit card, and you can create virtual machines. You can do whatever you want to do within the Azure tenant. We also call it Azure account we have created there with the billing attached to that. So that is also known as Azure tenant, within which you are adding, you're working, within which you're working. So once your users are synchronized up there, they get that free domain name, which is not really what we want. So what we're going to do now in next class, before next class, you need to purchase a domain. At the end of the class, remind me, I'll show you what are the tips and tricks of purchasing a domain name for 1 year. It's just $1, right? So it's pretty cheap. Domain, even $0.99. Even in that, there are sometimes domains there. So go for any cheap name, any cheap domain, .xyz. Don't go for .com and .ca. Just go for any .xyz domain name, like your company name, or maybe your name. You can just purchase any name right now, right? So, but suppose you purchase that allstate.com name, then you have to add that name to this Azure tenant, and then that name has to be, company name has to be attached to all the 390 users, removing this free domain name, right? So every company would have this kind of setting already there. We're going to go through that step by step to understand how it works. So in the company, in the interview, when they ask you, or in the company, if they ask you to do it, then you should know that how to add a domain name to a Azure tenant, Azure Active Directory, and also how to connect an Azure Active Directory on premises to an Azure Active Directory cloud, right? So all these objectives is our first lab, and it also fulfills exam objectives, because there will be a lot of questions about Azure AD Connect. How is it used? And then Azure Tenant as well, and domains related questions will be coming in the exam. So this, but my course, I try to go for a more practical approach, that you should be able to do it in the job as well. Not only just prepare for the exam, but you should be ready for the job. Okay. So this whole thing will be done, and thank you, Jazz, for sharing that in the group. That would be very useful, this diagram being shared in the group. Yeah. And here, now, once this is hopefully you've understood all that. So objective one, we're going to go step by step now with these objectives. So first thing is we're going to be creating our on-premises environment. Okay. So a grand plan, we are pretending that you are a cloud admin, blah, blah, blah. The company has an office in downtown Toronto. You need to install on-premises domain controller. You need to configure. You need to configure an on-prem environment, Microsoft environment. So Microsoft environment. Also, you need to configure an online Microsoft Azure environment. So that's a environment. Wow, that's cool. Environment. So, well, these are the main things, and sync the on-prem users to cloud Azure AD. So just the major steps in grand plan, right? And also add a domain company domain name from a domain registrar to Azure AD tenant that your company owns. Right? So add and then assign this company domain name as a suffix. Suffix is what? End part of the domain, or end part of the, suppose it's John at allstate.com. So allstate.com is suffix and John would be the prefix. Or suppose a virtual machine. So windows1.allstate.com. So win01 is the prefix and allstate.com would be the suffix or the ending part of the domain, right? Assign this company domain name as a suffix to all the users. So instead of John at allstate.onmicrosoft.com, it should be all John at just simply allstate.com, right? So, or that, or whatever you've added from the domain registrar, godaddy.com to your Azure AD tenant, right? So that would be the thing that you need to do. So these are the objectives here. So again, guys, the more hard work you give, then you can enjoy the rest of your life with a good salary. I keep saying that. And second thing is that you have to do your labs diligently and religiously, and you have to really follow it up and to understand each and every nick and corner of that. Okay, so Jazz, can you add an example in your prop? Okay, yeah. So the in the chat, there's a comment there. And the example would be, is like, suppose there's suppose there is a VM virtual machine called win01 dot and the domain name, whatever the domain name is. So, well, it's Cloud Engineers Academy, right? So CEA, my company, or this online academy through which I'm teaching. So CA.com, right? Or ca.ca. No, .com is more understandable. So the win01 is win01 equals prefix and then the CEA dot whatever the company name.com equals suffix, right? All right, so let us go ahead and let us start it. Okay, so here, so that would be, did I say plus? It's equals. All right. And now, now let's go for step by step. So that's the grand plan here. grant plan for the first lab. This is the first lab. This is not. All right. Thank you, for sharing this grant plan in the WhatsApp group. And that would be good record as well for others. Okay. Now, this is the grand plan, and this is the first lab. This is not all the lab for Azure Active Directory. This is just a start. As they say in the movie, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Did I say it correct? Okay, so now let's go ahead and go for our first part of the grand plan, and that is create an on-prem environment, right? On-premises environment. Okay, so what do we do first? Open VMware workstation. Let's create a new VM. Strictly follow me. Do not assume anything. Do not assume anything, right? So suppose you say, oh, I have installed Windows million times. He's showing us how to install Windows. Really? I know that. So you then install the whole Windows, but I do customization according to, the best to get the best results of the lab. So when I do something, then follow me if you're following, but you don't have to follow now. You just understand. But if you can follow, as I used a totally cool word here, if you can follow this fastly, right? If you okay, so yeah, that it's so cool, right? It's not a word in English. I know that. So if you can follow fastly, then it's okay. Otherwise, try to understand what's going on, right? And ask questions if you have. So I'm going to go for let's create a new VM and follow up. No, follow me. Okay, so I'm going to do a lot of customizations. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this and why not that, right? And second thing is, let's create a new VM. Then let's install Windows 2019 or 2022 or 2016, whichever you want. It works. The lab works with all editions. And once installed, then once installed, then log in with following credentials. 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 So go for following credentials. So the local password or the default username is always administrator, but you can use, it's up to you. You can use class password. Our class password will be, no, it's not class password, it's a class password. No, it's this small ABC, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123. So this is a class password. I will use this password wherever it asks for a password, and but don't put it later for your bank accounts and for your Gmail and for whatever you use daily, because this password has been used by hundreds of students in previous batches in different colleges. So I always use this. So this is pretty common in dark web as well. By now they know that this is a very commonly used password, right? It's been like what, 6, 7, 8 years in all the batches. I just use this password. So Microsoft started saying that, hey, this password we see so many times, change it. So it's actually have a reputation now. Okay, so once installed, then log in with following credentials. I will use class password, or you can use any other password, but it has to be complex password, right? Oh, okay. Okay, guys, so here, now, let's go ahead and quickly, what am I doing? So after that, I need to do some other things as well. I need to explain some other things. So configure the Windows. So we're going to be configuring that. Put static IP. And so configure Windows. When it comes, there are certain things that we need to do which are important. One is rename the Windows to your name Win01. So not my name, your name, Win01. Second thing is install VMware tools. They are very important. And restart. And then also have two NICs, two network interface cards, right? One for local static IP and other for NAT to give us internet connection. So just follow me and you will all understand. Other than that, yeah, that's it. So so this static IP we already covered, and take a snapshot as well. So I'll just put that now. Take snapshot as well of the VM. Okay, so we're going to continue with this. So we need to reach till here, and then we're going to go for next major steps that I'm going to show you. Yeah, so let's take a 3-minute break, 5-minute break. So yeah, of course. So the thing is that guys, let's take a 5-minute break. 2 or 3 students are asking that in the chat, in separate chat. So 5 minutes. So we start at 4:10, right? 5-minute break. 5. All right. Okay, so I'll start the recording. Oh, recording was going on. Seriously. Okay, we forgot to pause. All right, so let's get going, and we're going to have. I hope the sound is good, or it's okay, or it's not that disturbing, right? Okay, so let's carry on with this, and what we need to do is that we're going to open the workstation, and so let's do that now. And I'm gonna go ahead and start doing it, right? So I'm just gonna minimize everything here, and I'm gonna go for VMware workstation like these. Now there could be many small steps as well that need to be taken, and well, many of us could miss the steps as well. So you could quickly share the screenshot or just quickly ask on the mic that what did you do here, or you can quickly share your screen. But yeah, we need to do a lot of claps. So if we can do it fastly, wow, I've just introduced that term. Okay, anyway. All right, so let's start that. So I'm just going to create a new virtual machine here. And Naveed, are you trying to say something? Or not able to hear? Oh, okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and typical. So this is just typical selected here. I'm going to click next. And so guys, when we install Windows, we're supposed to actually do this, but we're not going to do this. What is this? I mean, you can do, it's just asking where is your ISO file of Windows Server 2019, right? So I could just browse and go ahead and start installation of this. But we will go for a workaround because it's going to give you, majority of the students gets the error when they do that. So I'm going to go for a workaround here, which is I will install the operating system later. So let's just follow this in order to have, in order to make sure that we can actually not have an error. We can avoid an error, right? So yeah, so what I did was just click that, create a new virtual machine, and then typical is already selected. Okay, welcome. And next. So on the next, and there is that last one, I will install the operating system later, right? So don't go for that second option because majority of the time it gives an error. So I will install the operating system later, select that and click next. And then there is Microsoft Windows here. And we need to actually select the Windows Server. So Windows Server, I see 2019. If you don't see 2019, 2016 is okay. If you don't see 2016, 2012 is okay. It's going to just install the universal drivers for Windows Server, right? So I see 2019, and I'm going to go next. And I'm just going to type here something as the machine name. So, it's, you know what? I'm just, okay. So machine name, I'm just gonna go as your first name, Win01 dash Azure 2 in one machine. So I have other courses here, so that's why I'm just naming it like that. So it's going to create in C drive this. Suppose you have a desktop that you're working on, you can just change the C to D and all the folder structure should remain the same, or you can change that too. But I have just C drive here, so I'll keep it like that. And if you have multiple drives, you want to create the virtual machine in E drive, so you can just change the C to E and it will work as well. Yeah. No, not custom, typical. And for 2012 server ISO is okay. 2012. Wow. Okay. So you've gone back in time. That's so cool, man. So that car. Zoom. Yeah, it's okay. 2012 is okay. No, it's not okay. 2016 is okay, 2019 is okay. 2012 may not. Azure AD Connect still needs some kind of bit later operating system. So, oh, okay. So, did I share that link? Can you increase the image size, please? Hold it up. Image size. Oh, this one. I don't think it increases. Yeah, this one remains the same. But I can take a screenshot of the small screen and it will appear very big in the chat. So I'm just putting it in the chat now. And yeah, you can see in the NetPlus. Did I say NetPlus? Yeah, that's the college I'm sometimes connected to. I used to connect a lot. Okay, so on WhatsApp, I just put that now, that screenshot. Okay, guys, so this is cool. Okay, so if it's a small screen, I'll share in the picture in WhatsApp. Next. So yeah, Fahad, the Windows 12 is not good, 2016 or 2019. So how to get that? I'll just give you the link quickly and we can go ahead, guys. So I think I put that here fastly. What's wrong with me and fastly? I can't get rid of this. So download Windows Server 2019 ISO. I'll just give you the link, Fahad, and you can download from there the latest one, ISO 64-bit. So this is the link in what's in WebEx chat. Download Windows 2019 Server ISO, and that's here as well in the WhatsApp. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with that. So this is, I'm going to click next. And guys, here it says 60 GB. So out of habit, I'm just going to put 200 here. This is just the virtual disk of the virtual machine size, and it's thin provisioned. So thin provision just means that it's going to take very small space on your physical laptop or physical desktop disk. It's going to take very small space here. So even if you put here 1 terabyte, it's not going to take 1 terabyte space. So whatever software you're installing, which we are installing Windows Server 2019, right? So it's going to take that just that much space there, right? So it's thin provision. So it's okay to put 200 here as well. And then there is that store virtual disk as single file, multiple file. This is just used for if you have single, if you want this virtual disk to grow as a single file, or do you want this virtual disk to grow in chunks of 40 MB files, 4 GB files, sorry, 4 GB files. So if this 200 GB is divided into 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, so you can copy it over the network easily because it's divided into smaller files. But if it's a big one single 150 GB file, over the network copying would be difficult and longer, right? So that's the main purpose behind these. So I'm going to stick to this multiple files, but you, since you know what to do with this, you can also choose single file or multiple. So I'm just going to stick to multiple files here. I'm going to click next here. Oh, this also, if you're unable to see it clearly, I'll put it. But guys, I won't be able to put all screenshots of all configurations, whichever window is small. I'm just going to put that. So this screenshot is also there, what I chose. Next. And then we're going to go for customized hardware, right? Customize hardware. I'm going to click that. And then there is, we need to install that a bit faster, the Windows. So it's just 2 GB memory by default. We're going to go to 4 GB. My laptop is right now 16 GB RAM. So I'm using 4 GB here because I'm using other browsers as well. Actually, I don't need that. This was, oh, actually I need that, other browsers. Okay. So 4 GB RAM, I'm going to go for, and it's going to install with that. If you have 32 GB RAM in your laptop or desktop, you can give here 8 GB as well. I'm giving 4 GB. Processors 2, which is okay. And CD DVD, we're going to give that ISO image a bit later. And then there is network adapter, NAT. Network adapter is on NAT. NAT is network address cross-section. This is that protocol. It provides internet to this virtual machine. Right now, yes, we need internet connection, so it's okay to put NAT here. So there's a bridge here, there's a NAT here, there's host only, there's custom. Bridge means that this virtual machine will be part of the physical network of your house or your office, whichever is your physical network. If you click this bridge, this virtual machine will become part of your physical network, which means what? If you have a DSL router at home or your DSL router and in the office, this virtual machine will get IP directly from the DSL router of your home or your office. In office, obviously, without permission, you can't really introduce a new machine. You have to get a permission for that. So don't do that in the office unless you have a permission that because their monitoring tools will detect that there's a new machine in the network, right? So the second thing is NAT, and NAT is okay. So so this processor here is no change here on this. It's okay. It's two processors and one core processor. So no change here. And in CD-DVD, we are not giving anything now, right? So that's, and we're coming directly to NAT here. So in processor, no change. And then, again, when I say processor or professor, then it comes to mind professor. And Netflix series of, Money Heist, there's a character called professor as well. Seriously, get out of my mind. Shush, get out of my head. Okay, so here, now, bridge, we understand that it's the virtual machine will actually connect to your physical network. NAT, what is NAT? NAT is that you are going to get internet connection for your virtual machine, but it will be behind NAT protocol. So this virtual machine will get internet, but it will not be exposed to your network. It will not show up in your physical network of your house or physical network of your office. So it's going to just stay hidden behind the NAT protocol within the VM workstation, but it will still get internet connection from the office internet or home internet. Okay, so then the host only, this means that there's no internet connection. Host only means there's no internet connection. And if there are two virtual machines, suppose, see this on my left side, there are 5 virtual machines here, right? So if I put them all to host only setting, then they can only communicate with each other within the VMware Workstation network and change files with each other, but they cannot connect to outside world, outside of VMware Workstation, to your home network or office network, and they cannot get internet connection. Host only means they can communicate with each other. That's it. No internet connection, right? And no connectivity to outside network as well. So then custom means that you can actually choose one of these. These are all networks. We have net 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all separate networks. Suppose there are 2 virtual machines which have selected VMnet 4. And there are 2 virtual machines that have selected VMnet 11. So VMnet 4 virtual machines cannot communicate with VMnet 11 virtual machines, right? So this is just to have multiple networks. Suppose you have lots of virtual machines here, 12, 13, 20 virtual machines here, and you want to use them simultaneously, but they should not be interrupting each other's network. So over the network, they should not interrupt each other. So just put 2 machines in one network, put 5 machines in second network according to your requirement, and you can power them all on together, and they will not communicate with each other at all, right? So naming convention or IP addresses, nothing will interrupt each other. So these are just separate networks. In our case, and then LAN segment just means that the virtual machines can be grouped together in one LAN, and they could be started together, restarted together, and shut down together, right? So, but it takes a lot of CPU and RAM. Okay, so we're going to connect to NAT. Why? Because we need internet connection. Again, why? Because Windows Server 2019 that we're about to attach, it will be a trial version, and the trial version can get it will expire. Once it gets expired, then it will shut down every half an hour, right? So we don't want it to expire. So when it's connected to internet, it's going to automatically be, um, activated for 6 months. It will automatically be activated for 6 months as a trial use, but for 6 months with all features. So that's more than enough for us, right? Hopefully this course will not go to 6 months. Mhm. Okay, so here we talked about NAT as well. USB, yeah, nothing, no use here. Sound card if you are playing songs as well. Otherwise, we don't need it. Printer, no, we don't need it here. Display, so no changes on these areas, right? So one change here was from 2 GB to 4 GB. No change in the processor. No change yet in the CD/DVD, and no change in the network adapter. It was already on NAT. So the thing is, are we understanding what we are doing? And that's the main thing. Do we understand? And the second thing is repeat, 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 repeat all the labs again and again until you are expert. Okay, it's not going to be that much detail later when we go to the Azure Active Directory, because there will be so long list of topics there. But obviously, I'll try to make sure that we understand what we're doing. Okay, so anyway, this is the whole configuration here. And okay, I'll just put that as well. Maybe that window is smaller. It doesn't look like smaller. So I'll just put this configuration here as well. And yeah, that's it. And close and start. Finish. Finito. And power on. On, on. So once you power on, it's not gonna install Windows because we never gave the path of ISO to the Windows. If you get this, just click no. If by accident you click yes, it's also okay. Doesn't matter. So it's not going to go anywhere because we didn't give a path of the ISO. Now is the time to give the path of the Windows Server 2019 or 2022 or 2016 ISO, right? So while this machine is started, I'm just going to go to the right side, so the white label here. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to go to settings, right? So right click on the white label, go to settings, and then so Oladapo says in the chat a word about attaching the ISO. That's exactly what we're about to do now. So let's attach the ISO now. And cool. And here, just go to CD/DVD setup, right? And make sure that the device status both are connected. Connect that power on. Select them both. And ooh, okay, Naveed. So guys, if you see this, so Naveed is showing this for his laptop. So Naveed, you have to shut down your machine, and you have to go to the BIOS, and you have to enable Intel VTX option in your BIOS of your laptop or desktop. So you have to shut down your machine. If your laptop is Lenovo, then you have to go to the model. I mean, you can Google it as well, that how to go to the BIOS. If you know that already, then go to BIOS, and you have to, normally the virtualization option is in the BIOS is in security section or in the virtualization section. It's for different companies, BIOS, different areas, you will find virtualization. If it's not Intel VT written, it could be virtualization full written or virtual written here, but you have to enable that and then come back, restart, and then it will let you start the virtual machine. So the laptop has to have virtualization option enabled. By default, it is disabled. So hopefully you understand. And okay, Fahad is already there on the next stage. And yeah, Fahad, it's second one, desktop experience is okay. If anyone else is on that stage on WhatsApp group class, there's a picture there. If you're there, then select the second one. Okay, so I'm going to go for use ISO image file, and I'm going to go browse and check out where is my ISO. So there's my ISO, but that is oh man, that is client. Oh, that is 2016, and that looks like 2019. I hop. Oh, it's the same. 17763, 1776. Oh, okay. So I'll just use that. And if it's 2016, 2019, 2022, whichever, it works fine. Okay, so once you give the path here, just press OK and restart the machine, and it's going to ask for press any key to continue. So you have to click that option. So see this? I'm going to restart now. Right click, power, restart guest, right? Right click, power, restart guest. So once we click the restart, it's going to say here, press any key to continue, this one. And I deliberately missed it, right? Because I need to show you that if you keep pressing now, it's not going to work. You have to click the screen. See this? This will be gone now. As soon as I click the screen, now you have to press enter and it will take it. Control Alt to take it out and click to go select the screen. And then it will take your keyboard clicks, Control Alt to take it out, right? So I missed it deliberately just to show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart again. Then I'm going to click the screen. And then when that comes, press any key to continue. Then I will press any key on the keyboard and it will start installation of Windows, right? So Control Alt, again, it goes out. I'm going to right click here, power, restart guest. And then quickly, I'm going to select the screen first. And then I'm going to press any key, right? So restart guest and restart. Select, and I'm ready to press any key, and I press any key on the keyboard and it's starting. Control Alt. So um and yeah, so this one comes, and then just time and currency format. So it's I'm going for English Canada, whichever country. If you're other than Canada, you can go for English in that country. That just fixes your time zone, right? So it's just a time zone fix. The time has to be correct of the machine for the machine. So you could actually have correct network service. So this is the only thing that we need to change. Next, and then just go ahead and install. Um, So on this screen, it's just a standard evaluation desktop experience, which is okay. Data center evaluation, we can also select, but standard evaluation is good enough for us. Desktop experience. Make sure it's just desktop experience, not the first one, not the third one. Those are just PowerShell, right? So you have to give commands only. This is desktop experience, the click version, right? GUI. So next. And then, yeah, select the accept terms. Here you have to go. We're not upgrading from an old operating system. We don't have any. So custom. And that's it. We're not giving any partitions, further partitions here. So we're going to have one full 200 GB disk. That's it. Next. Yay. So Jazz, you can share your screen now in WebEx and I can tell you, or any other user who wants help. Um, so there's a share button on WebEx and it will just show your screen if you want. Uh, Okay, so now it is installing data center evaluations, right? Yes, Oladapo, data center evaluations also okay. Okay, so if I have Windows 20, yeah, that will also take the same time to download. Um, but I guess yes, actually it's the same size whether you download from my drive or this one. So you can continue downloading it, right? And then install it. So if it's continuing to download, then do not stop, because if I give my link for the Windows Server 2019, it's also the same size. So it's going to take same time. Uh, okay. So guys, while this is going on, so what we can do is, oh man, just giving support as well to students. Okay, so what we can do is we can go to our next objective, but this is simultaneous work. So you in IT have to be ready for multiple tasks, but I would not do that at the cost of not understanding. So obviously, I will make sure that if you're understanding and if you're okay, so there's Windows installation going on, right? Now, okay, it's about to finish, so we will continue. But if some process is taking long time, so we can switch to learning something else, which is related to that topic, but that would just save our time, right? But if it gets confusing, then I'll just wait for the first process to finish and then second, right? So uh, but we should be in the habit of going for multitasking as well. Well, this I think is doing final restarts here for me. So I'll be putting the class password, and I'll go to the slide, and yeah, so these are the steps we need to do. So this is done. Open VMware session. Let's create a new VM. Let's install 2019. Once installed, so we need to reach here. So it's about to give us that screen, and then we're going to give administrator username. We cannot change, obviously. We can only put the new password. And after that, we need to configure the rest of the machine. Once that is done, then new set of objectives I'm going to put here, and we're going to follow that as well. Oh, so it's starting. While it is starting, we could still use up that time, and I'll actually give you the next set of objectives. So here, next steps, and that would be let's install Active Directory. This is local Active Directory, on-premises Active Directory, right? And DNS. Okay. Our domain name for the on-prem Active Directory will be, so our domain name for the on-prem Active Directory will be We can just say CEA Cloud Engineers Academy, right? Or you can just name it anything you want. So CEA.local. So we'll keep it simple as well. And you have to name the network of the Microsoft, or the domain name has to be given there. And then what we're going to do, we will install 390 users with PowerShell script. And then we will switch to cloud environment creation. So those who are behind in on-premises Windows installation, you can still join me for cloud side of configurations, because you can still do that regardless of where you are on Windows installation. Or if Windows is still downloading, you can still wait for it, let it download, but you can follow me on the cloud configurations as well, right? So right now, if I just go back and check it out, yep. So it is there. It's recording as well. So obviously, those who are behind, you will be able to finish it. And the main purpose is, no matter what, we're going to do the lab either now or later. We're going to finish it before the next class, right? So that is the case. And okay, so we're going to still do the cloud part, and everyone can join in the cloud part, whether you are not able to download or you're not able to, or you're still waiting for the download, or you're still waiting for the Windows to finish, right? You can still join. So right now, I'm just going to give that small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123, and then small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. Okay, so that's the password I've given, and I'll be using that everywhere. So once it's logging in, now I'm going to log in from this. So there's a button on the top here that is Control Alt Delete. These three buttons that send that Control Alt Delete to this. So I'm just going to click that, and then small ABC, capital ABC, shift 3, then it logs in. So we need to do some basic configurations here, and then we're going to go for creation of cloud environment. All right. Okay. The first thing is that we don't want it to be a trial version. We want it to be activated for 6-month edition of Windows, or version of Windows, right? So if you have this blue bar moving out, so it's just saying that, do you want this machine to be discoverable in the network? So I'm saying yes, but which network? Not the outside network. It's just within the VMware Workstation network, where this virtual machine is the only one. So it's okay. And the second thing is that first thing, as I was saying, is it activated for 6 months or not? So let me show you how it is possible. First of all, make sure that you have internet connection, because this should not be showing yellow triangle for you. This should not be showing yellow triangle, this network. And second thing is, this server manager will automatically pop up. And oh, yeah. So, all right. So once it is installed, see if this server manager pops up automatically, and it will. So minimize this server manager, right? And see on the bottom right, do you see this? Windows Server 2019 standard evaluation, Windows license valid for 180 days. You must see this. Because if you don't see that, then make sure that you do, because we need that Windows to be activated for it to be used properly. Otherwise, it expires soon, and then we are kind of. So let me just show you this. Oh, it's not. Okay. Let me open another paint brush, and I will put this here, and um, so you must see this exactly like this. 180 days is the main thing, right? So I will put this here. Make sure your Windows sees this. So you can put done in the chat if you see this. If you're not there, then yeah, you don't have to, but you can put done in the chat. So in my case, it is done. Done equals, this done equals actually, I can see on the bottom right of logged in Windows, 180 day activated message. So this is done for me. So hopefully it's done for you. Those who are following, you don't really have to follow, but you can understand what's going on. But you have to finish it before the next class. And I'll be asking then who is, but obviously it's your benefit if you do that, and you'll be at loss if you don't. So the thing is that my Windows here is this is saying this valid for 180 days. Anyone sees that in your Windows? No? Yes, maybe. Oh, no one. Okay. I just enabled the VT. Okay. Good, good. Louis. So carry on with Windows, restart the laptop. Okay. Oh, okay. So once this is showing, and maybe different students are at different stages. So yeah, you just have to finish whatever we did today before the next class, and all the help you need throughout the week. We're going to help each other. You can just put that message on the WhatsApp group, class group, so everyone can see that, so everyone can help as well. So the second thing is that we need to do. So is it activated? Rename the Windows VMware tools. Oh, I didn't mention activated. So is the Windows activated? So that is done, right? And okay, so getting this now. Yes, Naveed, we have gone through that process. Naveed, can you share your screen quickly? So on the top, you can see share button there, WebEx, or on the right side or on the top share button. You click share and we will be able to see your screen. And you can, anything else you have on the screen, you can minimize that. And yeah, there you go. Where to go? Now I can see your screen, Naveed. And here, you can go up to the white area and right click here. No, so nav win01. Yeah, right click. Okay. And settings. And then you have to go to CD DVD and give the path of your Windows Server ISO. Yeah, your connected is okay. So just give the path of that Windows Server ISO and wherever you downloaded that. Cool. Yeah, double click. And okay, press OK here. And then you have to restart again. So right click on nav-win01, go to power and restart. Oh yeah, that was there as well. So anyway, oh, power. Yeah, power. Yeah, and restart guest. No, above. Or this one is also okay. Restart guest. Yeah, and restart. And then click the screen, click the screen, click the screen first, and then press any key to. Yeah, so it was too late. So you have to click the screen and then press any key to on the keyboard. So go back to Control Alt, press Control Alt to release that mouse. Control Alt on the keyboard to release the mouse. Okay, Control Alt Delete you press, which is also kind of okay, but Control Alt only to do that. Then I will have to upload it to my drive, 2 hours for that, and then then download 2 hours for that too, because we're not in LAN, we're on WAN, wide area network. Naveed, can you click Control Alt only on the keyboard, the two keys only? Yeah, now you're good. Go up and again restart. But what you have to do is you have to just right click, yeah, restart guest. Yeah, this one. And be ready to first click on the screen as soon as it comes. Press any key on keyboard. So before that, click on the black screen and then click anywhere on the keyboard. Click on the black screen, click anywhere on the keyboard now. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So just keep going ahead and show me screenshots, and I will tell you what to do here, what to do there. I'll just share my screen now. So we're going to quickly go back to where we were. So uh, guys, yeah, some people joined today, so it's okay, and you can still finish the lab before the next week, and I'm here to help throughout the week if you put that on WhatsApp class as well, and but you will be able to finish that even tomorrow, Sunday. If I'm available, I'll be helping at that time as well, or after the class today. So, okay, guys, here. And I'm saying again and again, you don't have to do it with me. If you are fastly doing that, then only. Otherwise, don't do it now. Try to understand what's going on. And if you want to follow, then yes, then if you're able to go ahead and follow, otherwise, I can help you later as well. Okay, so now activated is there. It is activated. Now we can go for rename and VMware tools, these two things, right? So Naveed, you have to select desktop experience, the second one, if you reach that screen, and that's the main thing to, then this next finish, right? Okay, so how to install, how to rename and install. So guys, both will require a restart. So we will have to restart. Both will require a restart. So we will do just one restart, right? Instead of two restarts. We will do just one restart. So first we're going to rename, but we're not going to restart. Then we're going to install VMware tools, and then we're going to restart. This one restart will be good for renaming as well as VMware tools requirement, right? So I'll just go here. Yeah, Naveed, so it's a custom. Second would be okay. Custom second. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and show this. So guys, first of all, rename. So I'm just going to go ahead. How to rename the machine? How to rename the Windows operating system? This name is a label of VMware Workstation Virtual Machine. I'm not referring to this name. I'm referring to the operating system name, right? So I'm going to go to the yellow folder here to rename the machine. How to do that? Yellow folder, right click on this PC. Oops. Okay, welcome, Nick. Okay, so here and properties. So again, guys, we're starting the lab, so it's okay if you're left behind, like you have still full week to do that. And throughout the week, you need any help when you follow the video, and if you're stuck in anything, let me know, right? You still will have a video and full week to do all this. But I'm trying to put as much there in 4 hour time, so we could actually go ahead as well, and you can have some stuff to revise from the video as well, right? So I'm going to go, this is the weird name. We don't need this name. So I'm just going to go for the same name that I gave up there. I'm going to give down here in the operating system as well. I'm going to click change settings and change, but we're not going to restart at the end of it. We're not going to restart at the end of it, right? So I'm just going to click change here. And what was the name? Honor-101. So your name, obviously. So we don't need to put Azure 2-in-1 here. So just your first name dash win01 is okay. And I'm going to press ONK here. It's going to ask for restart. I will not restart. And you must restart your computer, press OK, click close. Now it's going to ask restart now. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for restart, lay, and later. So I need to do another thing. So this is done. These two are done, right? I could actually put them on green, done. So VMware Tools, and then I'm going to restart. So I'm going to install VMware Tools. VMware Tools is very, very critical for the virtual machine. So it makes the user experience very friendly. And second thing, it installs all kinds of drivers and display drivers and everything else. So it's very critical for any virtual machine. Microsoft Hyper-V virtual machine, VMware virtual machine, Citrix Zen Server virtual machine, any virtual machine, right? Okay, so their tools are there. So I'm just going to install VMware Tools. How to install VMware Tools? I'm going to go right click on top like these. Then I'm going to go down here like these. Install VMware Tools, right? And then I'm going to deliberately miss the pop-up that's going to come here or here, because I'm going to show you, suppose you do miss the pop-up for installing VMware Tools, then where to go. So there's a pop-up here. Suppose you actually miss that, then what do you do in that case? You click that and then setup 64. Yes, you can do that too. But I'm going to go here. Suppose you missed it, and then it's the yellow folder, the file explorer, right? This PC. It shows you this, the CD DVD of this virtual machine. The VMware Tools are now mounted to that because we clicked this button here, right? When it was saying install. Don't click now because it says cancel, right? Don't click now. So when it was saying install, then click. And then it will mount it to this CD DVD. Now I'm going to double click that. So it's now popping up down here. When you double click that, it's going to pop up now down here, right? So then just click next, 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 and install, right? And then it's going to ask for a restart. So yes, we're going to restart at that time. So next, typical is okay. Next, install. Now why we're doing all this? To make our lab smooth and long lasting, like we could use it longer. So that's why we're going through all those steps. Now you can see that display drivers will expand the view of this window, and thanks to VMware Tools, where so VMware Tools are really mucho importante, or muy importante. And then I'm going to click finish here now, right? And it's going to ask for a restart. This time we will and start. So we're going to restart now. Yes. So if we go for the objectives here, this is also done. We need to go for this now, and that is we're going to be installing actually Active Directory, and we can only do this after the above three steps are done. Then it's recommended to do this step, right? Okay, so maybe students are having issues installing and making their machines exactly like the configurations that I'm showing. So it's first day or of lab, so it happens, it's expected. So don't worry about that. You would not have missed anything, obviously, because you will be you will have a video to follow and support all week for if you put it on WhatsApp class group, so anyone will jump in and support. I will also try to jump in and support if I'm not busy. or whenever I'm free, I'll just support at that time. So it's small MVC capital issue 123 class password, yes, and log in. O and K. So if I go for the objectives, have two NICs, one for local static IP and other for NAT. Even with that local static IP thing, what is the IP that we need to give? So IP address will be 192.168.200.1. So it could be any of the private ranges like 172.16 or 10 range. And then subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And gateway is not applicable here. So we're not going to put anything here. And then preferred DNS. So PD equals, we're going to install the DNS server on this machine. So that's why this would be the DNS server as well. But our on-premises environment will only have one virtual machine here because we're pretending it's a branch, and we're actually connecting only the branch server according to the diagram, right? We're only connecting this dude here, this guy here, Active Directory, domain controller, to the Azure Directory. So we just need to have that one machine right now. We don't have to create all this, right? Okay, so if we go ahead, so this is our IP information. Okay, let's do this. I think the machine has returned back and logged in. So now what we need to do is to have actually two NICs. So it says here, two NICs, right? Two network interface cards. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Updated one, maybe, and you can see all the screenshots. That's very helpful. So yeah, how to get two NICs for the virtual machine, right? And the first NIC will be, actually, I'm gonna have no NAT on the first network interface card, and second network interface card will actually have NAT protocol that will provide internet connection, right? So how to give two NICs? So one network interface card we already have, right? This one. So I'm going to go right click here, and I'm going to go to settings of this virtual machine. This is like you have shut down a physical server and then taken out the cover, and then you're putting another network card. This is exactly what we're doing here in virtual environment. So it's going to be settings, and I see that I have only one network adapter, which is okay till now. Now I'm going to add another network adapter, and one of them will stay connected to NAT because we need internet connection. And the other one will be not connected to internet because we need to give it static IP, and that static IP is for the Active Directory installation. Active Directory recommends that we put static IP there. So I'm going to click add here. Down here, you can click add to add any other device. So I'm going to click add, and then I'm going to select, yes, I need one more network adapter. I'm going to click finish. Fat says in chat, why do we need two network adapters? So first is for, second is for internet connection. First is for Active Directory recommended configuration. So Active Directory says that have one network card at least for static IP. So Active Directory recommendation only, otherwise we don't need that. So for Active Directory installation, it's recommended. So we're just following best practices of local Active Directory installation on-prem. Okay, so here I'm going to go for either I can go for host only, or I can go custom and then VMNet 15 just out of random choice. You can go VMNet 10, 11, 12. They all serve the same purpose. They don't have internet connection at all. So VMNet 15, I'm going there for custom. If I could have selected host only as well, it does the same thing, no internet connection. right? Or VMware 15, randomly selected VMware 15. So just to have static IP given to this. So if you select anywhere else, and now you see that first network card is VMware 15, which means it has no internet connection now. And we're going to give this first network card a static IP, right? And the second will keep giving us internet connection. Okay, so we've added the first network card and change it to not have internet connection. I'm going to press ONK now. Press ONK. All right, so where are those two network cards? I'm going to go to local server here, this one. Just to give a static IP, I'm going to go to local server. So here it's going to show now the network cards, Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1. So I need to click on that. And it says Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1, right? So I'm going to go for Ethernet 0, thinking that that's that first network card that I added. And details, it has 169 IP. It has no IP, right? So this means that it's not connected to internet. So just go to properties. We need to give a static IP. Many of you would know where to go in Windows to give a static IP. So I'm just going to go for properties. And then I do not need IPv6. So I'm just going to uncheck that. Even if you keep it checked, it's okay. As a bad habit, I just uncheck it. And then I go for double clicking v4 version 4 IP. So I'm just going to double click that and use the following IP address. Right? So 192.168.200.1 tab just puts the subnet mask automatically. Tab again on the keyboard, default gateway, we're not putting anything there. Tab again, and then tab again takes us to preferred DNS. We intend to install the DNS server on this machine, so that's why same IP we have to put here for DNS ser and where as well. So now we have this configuration, right? All right, so this is the IP configuration. I'll just put a screenshot here for the IP configuration as well. And yep, just make sure that it's not 193 and this is not 169, right? So IP has to be correct, must be correct. All right, so I'm just going to press ONK and then press ONK again and then press close. The second one should still keep us giving internet. Yes, it is giving us internet because internet is still there. I'll close this down. So if we check it out, yes, this is done. We have added two network interface cards, and one is static IP now, and the other is still NAT. All right, so this much we have done, and then we can go for take a snapshot. So I'm going to take a snapshot now of this virtual machine. So what does that mean, snapshot? Why? Because I need to save the configurations I have done till now. So later, so till here, it will save all the configuration, what we have done. Later, suppose we're doing some other installation and it messes up the machine. It gives a lot of errors in the virtual machine and we want to go back. So we can go back to this snapshot where we have done all these steps already. So when we come back to this snapshot, we will not have to do all these steps, right? So that's the point of then saving it. So I'm just going to right click here on the machine and then there's a snap and shot. So snapshot, and we're going to click take snapshot, right? So we're going to click take snapshot here. It will be snapshot 1 of this machine, right? It's better to put something there. So when we come back, we will know that, oh, this much is configured in this snapshot, so I don't have to do this much. So what is done? So it is activated, and static IP given, and VMware tools installed, renamed. So 4 things, right? I'll take a screenshot of the snapshot. Right? So now, if you have written, or whoever is here now, but you have the snapshots, screenshots there in WhatsApp, whenever you reach there, you can always see that what I wrote there. Also, the recording is going on. So once you get the recording, you have to go through all these steps, right? So I'm just going to click take snapshot now. It starts seeking a snapshot here, saving state, which is okay. Like, we don't have to wait for that. It's going to be terribly slow. And we can let it take the snapshot, right? I need to close this Teams. Why she's going too slow now? And taskbar. Oh, I have to just close. I have 3 different types of browsers open: Opera, Firefox, close all. So that's really taking over my brain. And Chrome, Google Chrome as well. Or I'll just end task from here quickly. Firefox, right click, and so I get some more RAM here. Why so many browsers? Because, you know, in the morning, there's a Intune class going on, it's online and everything. So now there's Azure. We're gonna go now online because all the settings here are done. So yeah, everything else is good. If I go, whew, now we have some breathing space here. The 2 browsers were taking over everything pretty much. Wow. Need to do it on a 32 GB machine, RAM machine. All right, guys. So once this is all done, we have done this as well. So now the next steps, I'm just gonna quickly write them down, and pretty much, yeah, these are the next steps. So what we're gonna do is that we are going to install Active Directory and DNS. We really need that because that's a security guard example, and that controls centrally the whole network, and that's where the users will be created. Okay, so we need to reach till here, right? So these are major steps here for on-premises branch to consider, to pretend that we have a working on-premises branch. We have to do this, right? Okay. ONK. So let's install the Active Directory now and DNS as well, and then and start. So I'm going to go back here to the virtual machine, and how to install there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to dashboard and go to add roles and features, right? And then I'm going to install Active Directory and DNS only. So nothing here on this screen. Next. Role-based or feature-based installation. Next. And yes, the name is correct. Next. And here in the roles area, what role do we need to install Active Directory and DNS? So it's going to be the second one. So I'm just going to select that checkbox against it. And it's going to pop up, oh, you want those, if you want that role to work, so these features have to be installed as well. I say yes, okay, and click add features. And although we need to install DNS as well, but we're not going to click here because when we install Active Directory, it's going to install DNS for us automatically. All right, so next. And yeah, nothing in the features. Just install, select the second one, the Active Directory domain services. Next. And that's it. No, nothing here. Next. And it says that if there's a pending restart, it will restart, otherwise it won't. So we don't need to select that because it's not going to restart because of this. So I'm just going to click in and install. So trying to collect as much in the video so you could have a proper lab to be following to be followed up in the video. And we're gonna help each other as a team, right? So throughout the week or on Sunday, you're doing this lab, or tonight you're doing this lab. You can just put the screenshots on WhatsApp class group, and any one of us can jump in and help. And oh yeah, click this or click that, right? So according to our diagram, we are we're installing our Active Directory and then and DNS. Then we're going to install the 390 users. Once they're there, then our setup of the pretending that we have a local branch will complete. And then we're going to go for configuration of our online environment that everyone can follow and configure with me, right? Okay, so yeah, it's nearly installing. Wow, it's thinking. Well, it's installing the Active Directory tools, which will help us install the Active Directory. So normally we take at the mid of the class, we take a break of 20 minutes. Normally that's the thing, or 15 minutes or 10 minutes. But today we just keep on going. So the basic tools of Active Directory are installed now. And I can click close. I can just select this and it will continue to install Active Directory, or I can click close. Some students tend to close it. So suppose you do close it, then you can go to that yellow triangle here and then go to promote this server to a domain controller. So select that. That was the same option back there as well. So I'm just going to click that option, promote this server to a domain controller. Okay, so we need to create on-premises central management, central secure environment, centrally secure environment, right? So we have to go for add a new forest, and so as we decided the name, so CEA.local or anything, any name.local, right? Samosa.local, jalebi.local, I just name, right? So some of us don't know what is jalebi and samosa. So samosa, actually everyone knows. So yeah, here, I'm going to go for next CEA.local or whatever name .local. whatever name dot whatever, you can just put anything, but you have to put a dot between. This is prefix, this is suffix, the end part suffix, right? You can even put it toronto.ca.local. You can put it downtown.toronto.cea.local as well. So as long as it's in the dot format, yeah, you can prolong the name as well. Did I not click next? Okay. Okay, so it says that it's going to install DNS itself. So we say, yes, go ahead, please install DNS. And so if you have 2016, if you have 2019, or if you have 2022, it's okay, right? So I just realized that I installed 2016, seriously. So it's not like you have to compulsorily, because I was trying to say a wrong word here, like in the wrong grammatical way. Compulsory. It's not compulsory. Compulsorily. Oh, wow, I can't say that. Anyway, so I'm just going to go for the class password here. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123, and small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123, and without shift 123, right? So it's going to install DNS itself. So we're okay. We're good. And click next. Right? Nothing on this screen because it's saying that, hey, where's the DNS? But we're in the process of installing DNS, so we can ignore this screen. And it's just going to say that single name access to Active Directory. So it's going to give us the prefix here. Oh, serious? What do you mean? No prefix at all? It's supposed to give CEA here. Serious? Okay, anyway, just put that if you don't see that. This is the first time in my life I've seen that it didn't put anything. Okay. And then it's next, finish. See, so easy. Oh, just kidding. Now, guys, okay. 523, right? Oh, okay. So it says here, all prerequisite checks passed and successfully. Click install to begin. So it's just giving the 3 yellow warnings here. The first one says that it's not going to be compatible with the very old version Windows 94. We don't have that, so we don't have to care about that. Second thing is that there should be a static IP here, or do not use a dynamic IP, but we are using a dynamic IP. The second network card is giving us internet connection with the help of a dynamic IP. Dynamic IP is coming actually from within the VMware workstation. There's a DHCP working inside the VMware workstation as well. So dynamic IP we're getting from that DHCP within the VMware workstation, right? And that is giving in internet. Third thing is that it could not find a DNS, so it's okay. We're in the process of installing DNS, so we can ignore all 3 yellow warnings and click install. Yay. Okay, now if anyone behind can let me know. Okay, so, oh, seriously, what happened here? Trying to configure this machine as the domain controller and record what I think this name is not good. It didn't like that name, the general network error. So I'm just gonna go back. Oh, seriously, I cannot go back. Previous, more about results. General network error occurred. The operation failed with the following error. What? Oh, really hated it. It happens rarely. What's going on here? Promote the server to domain controller. I'm gonna go back here. And why did it not like the name? Okay, let's just go for Toronto if you are okay with that, if you didn't get the error, it's okay. You can go ahead and forward, keep restarting, right? Keep going to restart, click install and restart if anyone is there. Naveed says, I will do the lab in the coming week. Oh, okay. And uh, please let's see the grand plan after the snapshot. Oh, okay. So snapshot after, so there are two demands here, grand plan. So this is the grand plan, and I'll just put that here in WhatsApp, the grand plan, the complete one. And then after that, oh yeah, this is the second one. This is already copied there. And this is the third one. This may not be copied, but okay, I'll just copy that too. But I may not be copying everything because the slide will be obviously made available to you, and the whole video will be made available anyway. So everything is inside the slide and the video. Okay, let me go back here, guys. I think it didn't like my name, the CEA.local. Maybe there was some minimum amount of words or letters requirement, Toronto CEA.local. Okay, I'm making it a longer name and then going back again. CEA, what's wrong with that? Serious? And I'm just repeating the whole process of installing Active Directory because it did not let me go ahead and it was saying there's a network error. That's not good. Next, next. It should detect automatically. Wow, it's not detecting that. Why? It always detects here. Wow. Not sure what's going on with this Active Directory. It's not very active directory. Now it shows still 3 yellow warnings, which are supposed to be okay. Like we don't need to really pay attention to that. Then why did it give me errors? Oh, are you kidding me? Hey, anyone else getting this? Because I never got this in my life. That these are show more. Okay, what's an error occurred while trying to configure this machine as a domain controller? What else could go wrong? What is that? A general network error? What about results? Come on, come on, come on. Why don't you move it, move it? We want to move it. I hope it takes us anywhere. Otherwise, 2016, that's not good. I don't want to reinstall the whole thing. Seriously. This is how I installed Active Directory all the million times I did before. Anyone else? Oh, maybe, you guys, none of us have reached where I am right now. Okay. Really, it's Internet Explorer. Seriously, I'm using an older operating system, 2016, which is really, really not a very, very, very good idea. So ADDS, why error is coming? Yeah, that's how we install. We know that. DNS, yeah, DNS gets installed automatically, and I've installed 2016 million times as well, Active Directory, because um, I've been teaching MCSA and MCSE before, right? Okay, so no logical reason for this, but it's happening. So something is seriously wrong here. Okay, one more thing, network error, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this thing. Say this, settings. I'm going to remove this network card for internet. I'm going to stick to the local network, right? I don't need internet connection right now. So Kevin says that it's great. We get a troubleshooting lesson included with the slide. Yay! Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah, we always look at the positive side. Good. Okay, so here it says something about network. So I have tried to fix it. I'm gonna check that if the network adapter shows here. Yes, I've removed the Ethernet 2. Only Ethernet 1 is here. I'm gonna click that and double click that and properties. V4 is there. Yeah. 192.168.200.192.168.200.1. Yep, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Close. And then again, guys, okay, I'm gonna also turn off the firewall here. Uh, it should not be the reason for what is happening, but uh, I'm just making sure no more surprises because that's a pretty straightforward task here. I mean, okay, domain level firewall I've turned off domain level. Private network, turn off firewall, although it just works with a firewall on it. It just works fine. Anyway, firewalls are off now. Okay, so Fahd says, I have tried the same steps but worked fine for me. Yeah, because these same steps always work. I mean, something wrong with this operating system, it could be. So I'm going to try again now. Let me just restart the whole thing. And these same steps I've always taken for MCSA, countless classes. And even with eyes closed, we can just follow these steps and it works fine. So either it could be the corrupt OS or something else. But okay, so thanks for confirming for that. You followed the same steps, it works. And Fahd says, did you restart after installing the 80? Normally, we don't have to restart after installing Active Directory tools, if you're referring to tools. And it didn't let me reach that where I need to restart, if you're referring to the actual Active Directory. So yeah, it didn't let me even reach that where I could restart. It just said network issue. Okay, I've removed that network issue, and hopefully that was it. So I'm just gonna quickly start there again. Yeah, so dashboard, add roles and features, and I'll start again. Next, next, next. Oh, these are installed. So yeah, I could just carry on with the promotion of the domain. Okay, promote the server to domain controller. So there's something wrong with it because it always takes that NetBIOS name, no matter what name I give, Toronto CEA.local, Toronto CEA.local. If it doesn't take NetBIOS name, then there is something wrong with this OS. And I have to delete this dude from here. What is it doing here? Okay, quickly, I'll put that name there. So guys, that was the step. If you were able to follow these steps and you were successful, then Active Directory on your side would have been installed. Exactly, these are the same steps. There is no other steps. So if you are there already and you know the steps, go ahead and just restart your Active Directory installation and then log in back again. Seems like now it's okay. Yeah, it picked up the NetBIOS name automatically. That's how it's supposed to do that. So yeah, it was that second nick thing. the way I configured it may have been the issue. So it should be going fine now. Oh man. Okay, so again, now two yellow warnings. I think we're good. Install and it should go ahead fine. Okay, it's yeah, it's just gonna automatically restart after this, and then we're gonna go for that's it. So it's gonna restart. So guys, yeah, that 15-minute break, it's still due 1-5. So because we took 5-minute break before, total 20-minute break we can take. So while it is restarting, we can take a 15-minute break. So break 15 minutes, and oh, did I say 15? And classes starts at 5:38, 48, 53. Oh, okay. So 5:55. Okay. Now starts 5:55 p.m. EST. Pausing and muting. No, resuming. And okay, so um where I'm gonna check out if my domain um it, domain controller is installed. So it should be on the restart screen now. Yep, it is on restart screen. So our on-premises environment is nearing the completion. So I'm just gonna click this three dots here, three buttons here, and it shows me the prefix of the domain name and the local administrator, which is now a domain administrator, user account, and the password is, the class password. So we got ourselves this dude here, this Active Directory 390 users. So we got a domain controller here. We're going to check out the DNS as well because it's already installed and configured. So we're going to check it out. Okay, so here Active Directory should be showing here as well, or domain services, ADDS services. It's just loading still. So it's loading. Zoop. Or one day, Monday or Sunday, it's going to show that. But if I go to tools, so yes, Active Directory related services are here. No, Olodapo is asking in the chat if I create the Toronto user. No, Olodapo, Toronto is the if I click that, and so the username is administrator, right? Toronto CEA is the domain name, right? So it's just a domain name, and it's not actually. So if I go to local server here, and so there's a domain called TorontoCEA.local. So that's the domain name. So first it shows domain name, then it shows the username, right? No, which is okay. Oladapo, I was troubleshooting something on my side only, and I thought that changing the name would solve it, but it had nothing to do with changing the name. It was my two network cards. So yeah, it's your CEA.local is okay. Okay, so let's keep going. If we get the objectives here, so we have here. Yep, this is done. So I could safely green it. Let's install. Yeah, done. Did that. Our domain name is this. So we will install 390 users with PowerShell script. So we're going to create, actually, this is not install, it's create 390 users. Although we are good with even 5 users if we create there, because cool. Even if we create 5 users here, it's okay. But creating 390 users is like, yeah, you know, we get to use a PowerShell, and then we get to pretend that it's a bigger company than 5 users, obviously. But if there's 5 users and we are able to synchronize them, or if there are 5,000 users, the synchronization process is still the same, right? Anyway, since we have put that as objectives, so I'm gonna now go for creating a script, PowerShell script with 390 users. Okay, so where is that script? So I'm just gonna give you that script as well, and then you can follow me on how to apply, how to implement, how to deploy that script. Okay. So I'll go to the other screen, go to my Google Drive, and grab that script for you. I'm just gonna share the file with you. Oops. Software. Where's software? On the other side, I'm just grabbing it. Oh, there it is. And 390 user script. Yay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 2 files with you now, and those 2 files need to be downloaded. So I'm just going to give you a Google Drive link, and you can just download. So see this WhatsApp link? Oh no. So download the 2 files. I've put that in WebEx, as well as now download the 2 files there. So you need these 2 files. One is PowerShell file, and other is the CSV file with 390 names inside. If you put with that exact format 20 more names, so for 10 more names, it will be 400 names then. So it will create 400 accounts. So, well, there are just 390 names there. So, okay, so I'm going to show you here how to download those users. So I'll just go to that page, and I'm going to drag that page here on our screen. Okay, that's the page here. And you should be seeing this now if you have clicked that. So go ahead and download in your laptop or desktop these two files. I'm just going to download now. I'm just going to right click on the file, right click, and then download, right? So I'm going to download the create lab users.ps1. So it's a PowerShell. So download anyway. Yeah. Okay. And so that's not a VMware class. This is a Azure class. and docs. Okay, it could be in the documents as well. And then I'm going to go for lab users that has the in a correct format that the script requires 390 users. So I'm just going to download that too. And then I'm gonna take out the users. So what we need to do is this. So in your Windows virtual machine or VM, go to C drive and create a new folder called scripts, 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 right? I'm going to do that now. And then copy these two downloaded files from your laptop to laptop to your local to your VM scripts folder, right? So let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to go to that folder where I've downloaded. Where is that? So I'm going to go to this show in folder, and there it is. So lab users and create lab users.ps1, these two files, right? But before that, I'm going to go inside my virtual machine that I'm logged into, which we just installed, Windows. So I'm going to go to the C drive by going to the yellow folder of the file explorer here, inside the virtual machine, right? Go to this PC and go to C drive. Oh, Naveed says PS is the extension of PS1. It's PlayStation 1, right? Oh, just kidding. Okay, so it's a PowerShell 1. PowerShell 1. PS1 is PowerShell 1. Okay, so yeah, but it's right now it's PlayStation 5 there, PS5, but it remains PS1. So here in the C drive, we're going to go for new folder called scripts, 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 right? And in the scripts, we're going to just double click. It's empty, obviously. We're going to go outside, copy the two files, and paste them here, right? So I'm going to go back here and yeah, these are two files here. So press the shift button or control button to select the files, and then right click, copy. This is Windows 11, so copy, and then go to scripts here and paste it. So that's how it should look like, that you have pasted the two files. And if you want to see the extensions of these two, so you can go to view here, view, and there's a file name extension, right? So view file name extensions. And yeah, so now you can see the .ps1 and .csv. So PS1 is all PowerShell files. So we need to execute the PowerShell to create 390 users inside Active Directory. But let's just see our Active Directory right now. Where is our Active Directory users and computers where we can create users? So I'm going to go to the tools here on the top right, tools, and then go to Active Directory, users and computers, right? And then Toronto CA is the domain name. It shows that. Double click that. It expands and more folders appear. There's a user folder here, right? If I click to the user folder, so there's only one user here because users are depicted with a single user icon here, right? And groups are depicted with this double user icon, right? So we have just one user, actually second user, which is guest, and one user administrator. So we expect to see 390 usernames here created, but not in this folder or container. there will be an automatically new container created here called exchange, because the script says so, right? So those 390 users will be inside exchange yellow folder or container here. So that's what I wanted to show you. And I'm going to minimize this now because we're going to run the script now and get the 390 users, right? So there, create lab users.ps1 and lab users.csv. So .csv has all the usernames, but this is a script that's going to execute, that's going to grab all the usernames from here and create it inside this Active Directory users and computers, right? Console. I'm going to minimize this. So how do we execute this? So there's a icon for PowerShell is also appearing there. We can go through the PowerShell as well, or we can do this. Right click here, right click, right, on the PowerShell, create lab users, which is a .ps1 file, and then run with PowerShell, right? So that's a bit faster way. So run with PowerShell, right? Once you click the run with PowerShell, it asks now if it doesn't give any error. Oh yeah, first it says execution policy change. So are you sure this script is secure and it's not a hacker script? So yes to all, no to all, suspend, help. So default is no, but we need to put yes to all, which is A. So I'm going to put A here, telling it, yes, I know this script is okay. This script is safe. So I'm going to just type A and yes to all. If you have further questions, Mr. PowerShell, then yes to that question already, right? So press enter and it's going to then pop up this window. Please go back a little. Okay, all right. So see this? See what? Okay, here. Hopefully you're in that screen, right? How you run the script. Yeah. So see this? And right click on this PS1 file, PS1, create lab users. When you right click here, just run with PowerShell. That's it, right? So then if you click run with PowerShell and if it asks, is it secure, or then just type A and press enter, right? So that is this screen here. So I typed A and it pressed enter, but right after typing A and pressed enter, then it shows another pop-up here, which is if I go for Alt Tab, yeah, this is the one. Okay, so this is the pop-up that comes, and it says, hey, where is that CSV file with 390 names inside? It's looking for that. Remember where we put it? We put it inside scripts folder. Yay! Okay, so double click that scripts folder, and there is that lab users.csv, right? So this is what this script is looking for. It's going to go inside. There are 390 names inside, and it's going to create a user account for all those names. So I'm going to select it and click open, right? So once you click this, and yeah, it's creating against all those names this script, right? So the script is creating against all those usernames in the Active Directory. Obviously, we need to go to that Azure Active Directory console again, users and computers, to know that all these names got created or not. And we're going to see the new yellow folder created called Exchange. And in that Exchange yellow folder, we're going to see all these usernames. So suppose these are all those company employees inside that Toronto branch, and they need to access cloud applications as well. And then that's why we needed at least this much environment, minimum this much environment, that at least the usernames are there and domain controller Active Directory is there. So we could connect this on-premises Active Directory to cloud Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, right? Okay, I think it is done for me. And I'm going to go for confirmation. How? I'm going to go to the Azure Active Directory users and computers, or if you go to tools, this is the one, Azure Active Directory users and computers. So this is already open here, and the book, yellow book icon is there. And I don't see Exchange folder here, so I'm just going to go to domain, and I'm going to refresh. This is a refresh button. So first click on the domain name, whatever the domain name is, refresh, and there you go. Now there's Exchange users folder, actually, not Exchange, Exchange users folder. No. Okay. So there's no one with the letter X here. Yeah, you're right. So is there any name with that starts with X? No. Okay. So that's a good one. Okay, so here, and 390 names, really, and they couldn't find one. So wow, you're unique then. So amazing, Zebra. Okay, so here, hopefully everyone got, those were following and were able to follow fastly. Wow. Okay. I always laugh. It's always fun. I mean, so Exchange users is here. Now we got that done. So if we go back to this, so the objective of let's have the minimum most configuration for this lab where we can pretend that it's a Toronto local branch with 390 users inside. So we have reached that objective so yeah, all this is done. And yeah, there you go. So now we're going to switch to cloud environment because our on-premises, what we want for the lab, we're pretending that there are many servers here and the users are always connecting. One more thing about these users is that the script actually created a password for all the users automatically as well. So remember, the script gave all 390 users the password. And what is the password? It is capital PASSWORD1. Wow, what a secure password. So anyway, the script gave all 390 users this password. Remember that, right? This is the password for all the 390 users because it was inside script. Yeah, we could have gone into the script and we could have given that password as well. Like we could have changed the class it to class password, right? Okay, guys. So this is the first objective was to create objective one. Objective one was to create a on-premises environment. Now we're going to go for objective one's objective two, which is to create a cloud environment, right? And so Ravi says, can we also create the script? Oh, well, we can open the script and see what's inside, but can we create the script? That would be, so this is a script. And if I go right click here and open it with Notepad and open. So this is the script. And this script was actually, I got it from internet for Exchange Server Labs, email server that called Exchange. And it just is told to go to, so see this, it creates a folder called Exchange users. You can just change the name here to your name users or company name users, and it's going to create that. And what password it gives is we can always change that password. Yeah, user.password will be password one. I think it gave somewhere that user password as well. Oh, can we write the script? Yeah, well, we have to be a script writer, but this was a ready-made script. And yes, we have to learn how to write script by doing a PowerShell course. And if you Google PowerShell for beginners, then you will find so many YouTube sites and free sites and paid sites that can teach PowerShell as well, how to create scripts, right? So that's a separate thing. But here, obviously, we can use only available scripts. Yes, it is kind of a batch file. It helps automate the process. So scripts always automate the process. If you're a good scripter, then companies would love to have you if you're a good scripter. So if you can write very good scripts, for that, some students basically they start going for when they realize that they need to have scripting skills. So PowerShell for beginners. If you just type that, so there are so many sites, and you should follow. And your rule should be one command per day. I'm going to learn one new command every day, right? If you just follow that objective, then there are so many sites that show how to learn scripting, right? PowerShell training, full course for beginners. Wow, okay, Patty Mary, this guy. And then tutorial point, practical 365. No, that's not it. There was another one, school, something school. Ah, okay, anyway. But yeah, if you go for PowerShell for beginners and go for one new command per day, every day I'm going to practice one new command, then you're going to be good. And scripters are really needed in the job environment. And for infrastructure admins, this is a really crucial skill to learn. Okay, cool. User's password in the CSV, yeah. So it's kind of a batch file. Swat says here, password in the notepad points to the other file. Yeah. As Albert says, user passwords are in the CSV file and these things. Okay, cool. So, okay. Now, well, this is PowerShell for beginners, and my suggestion would be go seriously behind PowerShell and really learn it. Within 6 months, you should be able to start creating scripts, or if you're really working hard, then even much lesser time, you will start creating your own scripts, right? So uh, minimum, we should be able to know that how to customize a script, and still you have to go for PowerShell course for that. But script creators are the ones that are really in demand in the market. Okay, guys, so here we will switch to the cloud environment creation, and there what we need to do is oh so Jazz, you have to click the two buttons there, connect at the two checkboxes up there, and also. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of the class. Then I can help you out with all this, and we can reach here till where we are, right? So guys, okay. So Olodapo says, can we have these recommended links for PowerShell Basics, especially this? Oh, okay. So where I opened it, so I'll click that search, and I'm gonna put that here in WebEx chat, and also PowerShell for beginners. So yeah, that link is there, and you can search from this. There was a web school or something school, and that was also very good in teaching PowerShell. But there are so many excellent sites here. You can start anyone, and you will know then the basics of that. And GitHub, another one, you have to know that once you are creating scripts, then how to work on GitHub. This is very much required in every company. GitHub is just that whatever script you're creating and you want to collaborate with others, you can just upload that to a GitHub, and others can also see your script, and maybe they want to correct something. So in terms of scripting and programming, GitHub is also a very important topic. Okay, anyway, Windows PowerShell 2 for Dummies. I love all the for Dummies book series. If you get that, wow, amazing. Okay, so let's carry on with what we were doing. Okay. I was supposed to put it here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and try to. So, guys, here we do need some more time to actually create cloud environment. Should we keep on going? Because we will then have to stop in the middle, just because the time is not that much remaining. So Naveed says next week, but there's a democracy going on here. So shall we start the whole how to create cloud environment next week? Wow, everyone is fed up of me. I'm so hurt now. Okay. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that at least catch this lab. Okay, good. Next week, two guys are saying next week. So guys, shall we create the whole cloud environment next week and then carry on with that? I lost in starting. Hey, you're not alone, Naveed. I mean, there are many here who lost in the start. So Fahad also says yes next week. Anyone else saying next week? Because we'll have to stop in the middle and then we have to think about it again. Oh, what we were doing last week for creation of online environment. So Imran says yes next week. Jazz says yes next week. Okay, so we are. Oh, Jazz also said I'm behind. So I think majority says next week now. We already reached the majority. So next week it is no problemo. There are others who are also behind. Okay, so guys, that's just it. I'm going to put that slide up, and this is to be continued, but you must give it your full effort. This is your mission to understand the whole course, every topic, and repeat all the labs. Discuss with other students, right? This WhatsApp group is for you, and we are going to work as a team. We're going to help each other. We're going to jump for anyone's issue and help them. So we're going to work as a team. We're going to understand it as a team, and we're going to pass the certifications as a team, right? So take care and have a good weekend, everyone. Bye bye, and I'll upload the video soon, tonight or by tomorrow, and otherwise you can put in the WhatsApp, hey, teach, where's the video? So we're gonna do that. So it's to be continued here, and yeah, see you next week, and I'll stop the recording now.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Yeah, bye. Bye. All right, so bye-bye, and have a nice time. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Work hard, right?